to another episode on Homes of Hope Fiji podcast. We're welcoming you all the way from the Tawana Hills in Wailuku, where we're situated. And I'd like to welcome Auntie Etta, Nana Mary, and Auntie Lini, who are joining me again today. And thank you for taking the time to watch the videos that we've been releasing and will be releasing every week. Today, what we're going to be talking about is talking with your children, or how to talk with your child. And it's been very interesting, and it's been a learning experience from all of us during the past few episodes, because we've learned to see and learn how we are all dealing with our own children ourselves. So, Nana Mary, would you, like you said, you work closely with early childhood teachers and trying to address issues at that young age. So, would you like to start us off?
Yes, I thank you, Eli. I think it's important, as we say, about communication, and it's about communication with our children, to be very practical. What is this we are talking about? Because it's a subject that they hardly hear, even us in our time. But now we are talking to children. Okay, Charlie, if somebody touches you inappropriately or touch your body, this is what you are going to say. Please stop. You shout and go and tell someone. But usually there are things that before that, a child should know that they have a Noah, what we call a Noah, or a conscience, if we were talking in our own world, that there is a Noah in us. Johnny, remember this? There is someone, a little voice in you that will tell you what is wrong and what is right. Okay, Johnny, are you listening in? And God has made us, right? We have a body. And God has given us the body parts. And we have the body parts that are, Johnny, we have the eyes, the ears to hear, when mom says it, and we have the mouth to speak to mom or tell someone. But we also have private parts, Johnny and Mary. Remember, we talked about that last week in our relationship. So our private parts are the parts of our body that God gave us that are private. We call them private. Private means no one to touch or come with. Remember, we talk about our safe people as well. Even the safe people cannot touch you. So private parts, John and Mary, are the parts of our body that are covered with our swimming suits. Remember, boys have sapo or underpants. And you, Mary, we have a bra. Yes, I know, Mary, you're laughing away. But remember, in the Times Square, we have the bra and a panty. So those are our private parts, we call private parts. And they are private, meaning no one is to touch unless the doctor or the nurse for your health. Or mom, when you are sick, you cannot really help yourself. So again, John and Mary, those are the private parts. So the private parts, to go back, when somebody touches you inappropriately, touch your private parts, this is what you need to do, John and Mary. What did we say? Shout, no, run and tell. Remember our safe people, we already say, and I think that is the most important thing that we need to learn this week. Keep saying no until you are heard. If your teacher doesn't hear you today, tell someone you already identified. Remember last week, who are our safe people? Mom, we have our teacher, we have our sister, and all that you have said. Thank you.
Can you tell she's a former teacher? We're blessed that Auntie Etta, Nana Mary, did you also teach?
Yeah, I did.
See? Former teachers, you can tell with the way that they speak, and we're blessed to have them on our podcast. Auntie Etta, what's your
just listening to her, and I'm thinking of my own children. And it's very important as a parent, to come down to their level.
Yes. Yeah.
Come down to their level.
Yes.
And you can't be I feel like standing.
Yes.
Right? And you are standing, and your child is as small as that, and then you are talking from that level,
Right. Yes.
And this is very important, that you need to come to an eye to eye level.
Good.
Yes.
No matter what the subject that you need to talk about,
Yes.
that's very important, should you wish your children to, to have that confidence, to be resilient, to be assertive enough, living in this day and age.
And I think you brought up another really good point, Etta, in that it depends on the level that your child is
Yes.
at and the age that they're at. So now Mary is also obviously speaking to young children with Chone and Mary, that example.
Yeah.
But if you've not shared anything with your children and now they're a bit older and you're hearing this and you think, okay, I need to share, then your whole approach might be a bit different. It might be
Yeah.
the same material, but you wouldn't speak it so simply.
That's right.
No.
You would
Yeah.
dress it up a bit.
Yes.
There is some wonderful material online that you can Google. How do I talk to my children about sex? How do I talk to my children about rape or trafficking or drugs? And there's so much out there right now that you could actually print off or just read from your phone if you're ashamed or embarrassed about talking about these things with your children.
Yeah. It's important to educate yourself first.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Most of the time we're hearing like hearsay. But
Yeah.
it's important that you yourself need to educate yourself, especially with everything that's happening now, sexual crimes, the spike in HIV cases. We need to be aware, and you have to know yourself so that if your child was ever to come to you have to know it
Yes.
and tell them and direct them in the path, saying the right thing,
Yes.
Yes, and not pushing them away again because you don't know yourself.
Yes, when we come to children, for example, private parts are never been mentioned.
No.
No, we don't. We don't
Ever.
speak about private parts. But we are so thankful to this toolkit that they are able to be really practical with the private parts because one, they do their activities that align and that emphasize, reinforce what we teach them. So they come to a time whereby they see, oh, it's something that I can do myself to protect myself and protect the other friends. But provided, as you rightly said, we need to educate others. Especially like now, the teachers have been trained to be their protectors. So unless and until the teachers give this platform for the children to raise their voice, knowing that they have these private parts and belong to me, they are special, but that only with, as I said, a joint responsibility from the teacher, whoever the parents who's listening in. It doesn't have to be teachers alone.
Right.
This curriculum is for everyone. For the parents themselves, it will be a very good material that they can use. Until Lynn rightly said, there are things out there in the Google which they can to help them. But again, we come back to first our relationship, our communication, and the trust.
And following up on that is, if you are a parent of young children, talk to them about their body parts and use the correct anatomical terms.
Yes.
So these are breasts, they're not doo-doos. So use the correct terms and make it just as matter of fact as you can.
Yeah.
And it's not like you sit down and have this big talk with your 2-year-old. It's just as you're bathing them, okay, today we're going to wash your, and then you just use the correct body parts. And then as they grow, it's just, this is how I can talk to my mom, and it's a comfortable conversation.
Yes.
But if you're making derogatory words or making fun of body parts, or you're just not saying them at all, then you block that communication with your child to be able to talk to you about those things.
Yes, that's true. Even the teachers, when we were talking about naming the parts correctly and honestly, they find it a challenge because that is something that they will not talk about. And for them to be telling the children, that's another challenge. So they have to go how many hurdles in order to really be specific on what. But we are getting there. We are so thankful for this toolkit. It really helps everybody.
Auntie Etta? Well,
I'm just smiling to myself.
I see that you
Well, I work in the communities. The line of work that I do at Homes of Hope, I work in the communities. And these are some of just the basics and the simple things that I feel sometimes we need to unlearn and relearn.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Especially coming to the space of prevention.
Prevention, yes.
Prevention. And
Yeah.
well, as parents, I guess it's very important that we take that on board as a priority.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If we were to save the children's life and the life to come, that is something that we need to go
Yes.
that way.
Yes.
So I have a story for you. So there was a set of, this is a true story, there was a set of twins, and these twins were both taught, they were young, they were both taught the thumbs up toolkit. And they both understood about what my swimming suit covers, no one should touch. If someone does, I say no, go and tell. So they were taught these things. The twins were in a situation where the stepfather tried to molest both of them at the same time. They both had learned the same material, both had the same understanding, but one of those twins was very, very shy, very introverted, very unsure of herself. The other one was quite dominant, very extroverted. And so when the stepfather tried doing this, messing around with these two girls, the confident one jumped up, screamed, and said no, and ran out of the room and went and told her mom. The younger one ended up getting abused. And so it's not just passing the information to the children, but it's also continuing to encourage them. If they're more shy, if they're more timid, you can do this. You can, let's practice it. And you have them scream as loud as they can. Try different pretend scenarios where maybe, I mean, you wouldn't get graphic, of course, but just something where they have to say, no, I don't like that, and help the children learn to become assertive.
Yes.
So important.
Yes, yes. Like we said, we were raised differently, right? We had to learn almost everything in school, or from friends, or from our aunts. Yeah, that's how we learned, and that's, like you said, it's very important to use the correct words.
Yes.
You know, as mothers, as mothers.
Mm.
So I guess this is really important. How we're going to first build that trust with our children, and learning to communicate with your children, not only listening, hearing them out on whatever they tell us. Sometimes they won't be direct with you, but like Henrietta said, if you have those lenses on, you're able to see past that.
Yeah.
And it's very important.
Yes.
We're not psychiatrists, we're not psychologists or counselors. Information and the idea of this podcast is for us to share with you, share the information. We work in communities. Homes of Hope has relationships with the 16 communities that we work very closely with. So not only do we take the information, we also learn what happens. Happens in different communities, in different families, and to different women. So that's how we're able to learn from each other, and we're able to tell you through this podcast. Always remember, there is help out there. If you know you can't offer the help, if you're broken, you can't heal anyone else. So know that there is help out there. You'll find toll-free numbers in our description notes. Homes of Hope, if you want to know more about it, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. So we have had a few episodes done, and we're going to continue to bring you episodes every week so that we're able to teach and learn from each other from now on. Thank you very much, ladies, for being here again from Homes of Hope and from us. Modemanda, and we'll see you again.
Monday.
Monday.